Welcome back to a beginning understanding of Star Citizen. This is chapter 3, and we're going to talk about start talking about interacting with the world. We already know, we learned in the last video how to move around, which is great. We can now get up and move around. And that's what we're going to do in this video. And we're also going to talk about, start talking about how we interact with the planet and the universe and the verse, and the different items in the verse, and even maybe some other people in the verse. So let's get started. If you remember, the Y key is how we get out of the bed. So I'm going to press the Y key to get moving. All right, I'm going to turn off my chat here, and that was the F12 key. And I'm going to come over to the door. I'm going to tap F, and we're going to get out of the room. You can see we just are in a different area than we were in the last video, so we were put into a different room. We're now somewhere where there's a pool table. Look around, got some guys standing on the chairs giving us an ovation. Thank you, guys. All right, so part of the verse and part of the Star Citizen, and dude, what are you doing? Get a room if you want to do that, man. Oh my God, I don't know why you insist on doing that out here on the floor. Oh, what did I do? What the heck? What the heck just happened? Did I fall through the stairs? I think I fell through the stairs. Because I was just going upstairs. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy yakking my mouth. All right, so now we are upstairs, and part of this game is learning your way around. I mean, there is not always 100% directions on what you're going to do, and right now we're kind of freewheeling it. We don't have any objectives set, and we're just kind of wandering around, and you will spend a lot of time wandering around in this game, but that's how you learn your way around. There are some clues that can help you out, like when you're trying to get from one place to another. There really aren't any clues here other than trying to find your way out of this building. To get started, hey dude, sorry about earlier. I didn't mean to yell at you. I was just trying to show everybody how to sprint, and you were kind of standing in my way, but yeah, you look like you don't really care. Okay, moving on. All right, so where are we? According to this little sign right here, we're at habitation level 02. And that's kind of how you're going to find your way around in Star Citizen. You're going to have to read signs, look for clues, and there will be some, but not a lot, okay? So you will have to learn your way around. And again, a lot of exploring. So here we are. This says exit, so I'm guessing this is where we need to go. We're going to look here. We got a button. We're going to say call the elevator, and it's going to call our elevator up. So the main part of the video is going to be talking about the Mobiglass and how you can interact with the Mobiglass. So we're going to get down to the first floor and get started with that. All right, so here in the elevator, we're going to hold down the F key, and as you can see, we have a menu that has multiple options. And if you remember from before, we said if I was just to tap the F key while not holding it down, it would take the first option and it would take me down to the first floor, but that's not what we want to do here. The other thing here is sometimes these menus will be longer than what you can see on the screen, and you can look up and you can look down and kind of wiggle your mouse to keep kind of looking down further or looking up further. You can also, while you're on the actual menu, you can use the scroll wheel on your mouse button, and that will scroll you through some different options. So for example, if you can't see all the floors listed, maybe you only see floor 4 through 15, then you can scroll up and see floors 1 through 4. All right, so we're going to go down to the ground floor, because I didn't want to go to any of the other habitat floors. The elevator, we heard it kick in, and now we're moving, and now we're down on the ground floor, so we're just going to go out. And here we are in the city of Lorville. in our little habitat on the planet Hurston in this star system Stanton. Don't see anything down there worth going to look at. This kind of looks like maybe the way out. So we're going to go this way. I'm going to come down. And here we are in Stanton. Right out here is the TISA spaceport. And if there are other players coming in for landing or taking off from the TISA spaceport, you would actually be able to see their ships coming in and going. And right now, I don't see anybody, so yeah, but just know that you are actually interacting with the other players constantly in the game, and they would show up here if they were taking off and landing. So let's talk about, we know how to interact with stuff. We can press the F key, and we can see if there's anything available here. F key, nothing is lighting up. So we don't have anything available to us to interact with in the verse. So the other thing that we can do to interact is we can press, or we have what is called the Mobiglass. Okay, and the Mobiglass is how we can interact with the universe also. Okay, so we're going to bring up the Mobiglass by pressing the F1 key. All right, so think of the Mobiglass as like an Apple Watch. Okay, it's on your wrist. And when you activate it, it brings up the display. Right, so the first thing we see when we bring up the Mobiglass is a general statistics. We can see what our current balance is of AUEC, or any crime stats we have, and you can get crime stats based on whether you're a good person or you're a bad or a good citizen or a bad citizen. Let's put it that way. We have our vitals monitoring, our heart rate, what kind of pressure we're at on the external atmosphere. Right now we're at 1 atmosphere, which is very similar to Earth. The composition of the gases on the planet, vehicle status if we were tracking a vehicle, which we are not, mission status if we were tracking a mission, we are not, and our suit status, how much oxygen we have, how much do we have in our tank, our EVA, fuel, and our power output. How much oxygen time remaining. If we were out of atmosphere and there was no oxygen, we would be using that oxygen. Right now, we're replenishing any oxygen we're using, okay, from the atmosphere. Down along the bottom, we have our different commands. So let's start with the farthest one on the left. This is communications. And you can see right now we're monitoring. These are the channels that we're monitoring. Right now we're monitoring global chat. This is what has been said in global chat. And I have the chat window turned off so we don't see this. But this would be what we would have seen popping up. These are the members that are online right now. And if we wanted to change our global chat settings, we could come right here and change the settings by clicking on this. And we could change the color of our chat text, whether or not we're sending it to the visor or not. And right now, it's set to the visor, and it's always set to the visor. So like I talked about before, since it's sent to the visor, we only see it if we have a helmet on and if we're in first person view, because it's only showing up on our suit visor. Friends, this is where you go if you were wanting to talk to any of your friends that are online. And there are some in-game friends. So like the Lorville Landing Service would just be considered a friend. And if we wanted to communicate with them, we would by just clicking this little button right here. And that would communicate directly with the Lorville Landing Services. And you're going to do that when you're landing or leaving a spaceport or space station normally in order to get permission to land there. So understand you'll come in here and go to friends and select the landing station and communicate with them. Pending would be any friend requests that you have from other players. If you run into another player, you can interact with them with your mouse and your F key and select them as a friend. Right, so that's the basics here. And this would be like, again, all the members that are on right now in global chat. Next icon here is ship interaction. So this is where you would go if you want to interact with your ship. And you would select a ship from your list of ships over here, and then you could control the loadout or set up stuff on that ship. So let's just take one, for example, the Aegis Saber. And now you can see over here, we get what the load is out on that Aegis Saber, and we could swap parts if we wanted to. You can purchase parts in the system and then swap them or take them off of the particular ship and kind of move them around and load out your ship the way that you want to. Okay, once you make your changes, you would just save your changes, and that would be equipped to your ship. For the next time you use your ship, it would have the settings and the equipment on it that you supplied. If I click the down arrow here, you can see that the Drake Caterpillar has a red lock on it, and that means I cannot do anything to that ship. It's locked right now, and we'll talk about that more later, but just know that in order for you to be able to edit or do any kind of vehicle loadout, that ship has to be stored, and it has to be stored at the location that you are. Otherwise, it is not available for you to work on. Okay, and currently, we'll talk about this again in the next video. I think we'll show you why the Drake Caterpillar is not available. All right, next up is Equipment Manager. This would be how we control our equipment, and you can see right now that I am fully suited up, and so between videos I put on a suit, and now you can see that I'm fully suited up rather than just wearing the undersuit. But if I were to go to the undersuit or go to my armor, I could take my armor off or put it on. So if I were to unequip my helmet, I would move my helmet. If I go to my torso and unequip my torso, you can see I'm going back down to my regular ship, or my regular undersuit, and okay, I just unequipped everything so that now I'm just back into my regular undersuit. So that's how we can control clothing and what we're wearing. And while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about clothing. So basically, as long as I have on an undersuit, I am wearing that undersuit, and that undersuit is for space. So I can add different things to my undersuit from my inventory. If I want to go into street clothing, so like right now I have clothing, but I don't have anything available, and that's because I'm wearing an undersuit, and an undersuit is only used with space gear. If I take off the undersuit, you will see I switch over into normal clothing, and then from there I can go to clothing, and I could pick different clothing that I would want to wear. All right, so for example, I could change my hat, and let's just put on the hard lime chrome hat. You can see over here an overview of what that is. If I put it on, there you go. I'm now wearing my hard lime chrome hat. All right, and if I save changes and equip, that's what I would be wearing right now. Okay, and that's good for when you're on a planet, but certainly not good for when you're in space because you got no protection. So you're almost always going to be in your undersuit. All right, so let's put our undersuit back on. And it re-equipped my outfit. And let's go ahead to armor, helmet. Let's unequip our helmet, and we'll save changes. Next up is our map of the verse. So normally when you click on that, it's going to be at whatever setting you had last time. So if you were like looking at something close up, then you would probably be in a view like this, and just know that if you scroll your mouse wheel, you can scroll in and out of the map. Okay, so we're in the Stanton system right now, and we are over here at Hurston. And if I try to center the map, okay, and now if I scroll back out, I'm going to be on Hurston. Okay, so this is where we currently are. And that's the planet Hurston. Hurston has 4 moons in its orbit. And we can scroll out further, and we will see that now we can start see some things that are around Hurston. There's Hurston L1. Okay, and if I move my mouse over to it or click on it, I will see what it is. It's a Lagrangian gravity well located in the orbit of Hurston. Beside being a home to a collection of asteroids, a convenient R&R rest stop is available for refueling and repairs. Okay, so we know that we could go there for refueling if we wanted to, and that would be a good rest stop for us. HURL2, on the other hand, is a Lagrangian gravity well located in the orbit of Hurston. No mention of an R&R. So that means you could not go there and get refueling, or rest there, or stop there, or save your location there, because there is nothing there for you to respawn to. All right, we'll scroll out even further. We'll see the whole entire solar system, or the Stanton. We have Microtech, Hurston, ArcCorp, Crusader, and Delamar. Those are the planets that are available to us. And to look at any one of those, we would just click on it or double click on it. It'll take you to that location. And then you can see the moons around Crusader. Left clicking on the map and moving your mouse left and right or up and down will control your view of that area. And right clicking will just scroll it left and right or up and down in the center of your visor. All right, so that's it for, and this is also how you would like set your route if you were going to be going from one place to another when you're in a ship. And we'll get into that more when we are in a ship. Next up, we have the MO Trader. So this is where you trade money with other players. Why would you give other players money? Well, maybe you're doing some teamwork and you're working with other players and you all are playing and you're asking them to help you complete a mission that you can't quite complete on your own. You may want to offer them funds to assist you. Sometimes you're maybe running cargo and you want to hire some protection. So you can offer other players the ability to come and protect you, and that you will pay them certain money and they will come and protect you while you're flying your cargo ship. There are pirates in the solar system, and those pirates will sometimes steal your ship and steal your cargo, and then they will hold it for ransom. And you may want to consider paying the ransom to get your cargo ship back, depending on what your potential income is, how much money you have invested in that cargo, and what that pirate is requesting. Okay, but you can haggle normally with a pirate. Normally they will give you your ship back once you send them the money that they're requesting. Okay, so that's the MO Trader. It's just a way to send AUEC between players. Next up, it's Contract Manager. So this is kind of where you start making money in the verse, or how you can make money in the verse when you first start out is by taking contracts. All right, so depending on where you are in the verse, the contracts will change, but you'll normally have some general delivery contracts, beacons, investigations, mercenary, maintenance, bounty hunter, ECN alerts, all different kind of missions. They all pay a certain amount of money, okay, and that money depends normally on how long that mission might take, or that contract might take, or how dangerous that contract is. So you can just click on a contract and get more information about the contract and decide whether or not you want to accept that contract or not. Once you go through some of the general contracts, you will start getting personal contracts, and you'll get more and more personal contacts the more general contacts you get, or you complete. Okay, so they're kind of tied together. Any contracts that you take will show up in your accepted. So if I were just to go to the big dump here and say accept the offer and go to accepted, it'll show me the big dump and what I'm supposed to do and what it's going to pay. And for right now, I don't want that, so I'm just going to abandon it. Once I complete a contract, it'll show up in my history. So there's history of the contracts that I looked at and accepted in the last gaming session or the gaming session. And beacons are how you can request help from another player. So you can create a beacon. So going back to the MO part of trading money, you can also create a beacon. So if you're asking another player for help and you want someone to come escort you maybe while you're running a cargo, you would create a beacon requesting that and letting people know what you're going to pay for that, and they can accept that offer, that beacon, and then they can make their way to that beacon and meet up with you, and then you both would run the mission together. Okay, so that's what a beacon is for. And occasionally while you're flying around, you will see beacons show up, and that just means somebody has created a beacon and is requesting help. Normally right now they're dealing with another player already, but if you want to, you can also get beacons that are created by NPC or non-player characters or the AI, and you can assist those players also. So it's up to you whether you want to accept a beacon or not, and beacons usually show up at the top of your screen in blue, and if I see one pop up, we'll mention it. Okay. Next up is Liveworx AR to modify ship port equipment. We haven't talked about ship ports, but there are ship ports or hangars that you can have in your system, and this allows you to modify those hangars that you have, I believe. I've never used it, so I can't say for sure what it's for, but that's what I think it's for. Next up is vehicle maintenance services. So when you're landing at a spaceport and you're in a spaceship, you may have the ability to repair that ship, restock that ship. This would be missiles and armaments that you use, or ammunition. Repair is going to repair any damage that might have happened to your ship, and you're always damaging your ship just by using it. You're creating damage or wear and tear, and you constantly have to repair your ship. Refuel hydrogen, and that's the fuel that you use when you're moving around in your ship in atmosphere, or anytime you're not in quantum, you will be using hydrogen fuel. And when you are in quantum drive, you will be using quantum fuel. Okay, and you will need to refuel that. Depending on the size of your ship, will control how often you have to do these things. But normally that's available at any of the R&R stations in the solar system and most major planets or most major spaceports. And last is your journal. You can just look at the journal and kind of get some clues, maybe some help, general information from Star Citizen, and just a journal of what you're going to be looking for. Okay, and sometimes when you're running missions, those missions will have journals, and they're just journal entries of what you completed in the mission and maybe some things that you need to complete. The next button here is just going to take us back to our status. Okay, so that's the Mobiglass. Okay, and that's F1, and that brings up your Mobiglass. And then again, that's how you can interact. And that's going to be all we cover in this video. I just wanted to get over and talk about the Mobiglass. In the next one, we'll probably take a look around Hurston a little bit, talk about personal inventory, looking at some shopping, and get ready to take off. Oh, there's somebody coming in, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and let's zoom in on them. That looks like a Caterpillar, which is a cargo ship, and it is coming in for a landing. So that would just be another player coming in for a landing at Tisa. And he is following his flight path in, and now he is free to try and find where he's supposed to land. And let's see here. Let's zoom in on him. Yeah, definitely a Caterpillar. And you can see he's coming in for a landing. He's got his landing gear down. And let's see if he makes it in. Looks like he made it. So he landed inside of, there's a area here for a landing, or a landing pad, and there's some doors above it, so the doors are probably closing right now because he went inside the landing pad. But yeah, so that's the Tisa Spaceport, and that's it for Mobiglass. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.